It's always been, this person has the best pizza. No, this person has the best pizza. And it's always been a hot topic in Sault Ste. Marie as to who has the best pizza in town. I don't know that answer. I'm not about to say that I do. I like to think that I do. I mean, Jer, what do you say? Like on a Friday night, we get, 3-4 doughs? And you get...
It's a couple hundred pizzas on a Friday night.
On a Friday night, you're doing 200 pizzas for sure. And that's just us. That's not to mention what everybody else in town's doing. So, if you put it on the grand scale, you're probably going through 1,500 pizzas on a Friday night.
On average, I'm going to say on average, probably anywhere from 2 to 250. The weekends are busier on the Fridays and Saturday nights.
A lot of people traveling out of town to go to the cottage or on a road trip, they'll call us early in the morning and ask if we can have a pizza ready for them, and we oblige when we can. People will actually pull up with coolers and fill them up on their way out of town.
I have a customer that comes in every December from the East Coast. We cook 25 large deluxe for these people.
A lot of people that are going out to camp, they're going fishing, they go out of town for the weekend, or people that are taking food to their kids that are away at university out of town.
I've had pizzas go to Nova Scotia, I've had pizzas go to Calgary, I've had pizzas go right to the West Coast. Kids going to college, people want them vacuum packed and they take them out there.
People would come and load up on pizzas and freeze them and take them to Toronto, to Barrie, to Sudbury.
I do remember specifically the one talk about I'm bringing this pizza to Vancouver, so that's not bad, I'll take it.
Some people who had moved down in the States, in Alabama, they came up and they came right here. They said, we didn't think the place was open anymore. And my mom and dad used to take me here when I was a kid, and I just love the pizza. That's a compliment above all.
Take me back to my old hometown. Hanging around here is bringing me down. Take me back to Sault Ste. Marie. There's a lot of old friends I wanna see. There ain't any place that I'd rather be. Take me back to Sault Ste. Marie. I remember the days when we were young. We didn't have much, but man, we had fun. Take me back to Sault Ste. Marie. It's just a little place in Ontario. I called it my home a long time ago. Take me back to Sault Ste. Marie. Sometimes when I get lonely, no one by my side, I'll think about her, dream about her, and all the times that I've cried. Been away a little too long. Did anyone miss me while I was gone? Take me back to Sault Ste. Marie.
Sault Ste. Marie pizza, I think of, if I can just go with names, I think of Aurora's.
Definitely, Aurora's. Aurora's is synonymous with Sault Ste. Marie pizza.
Of course, everybody, Aurora's comes to mind.
Of course, you've got your famous Aurora's that really put it on the map for Sault Ste. Marie.
If I start counting, I'm going to say there's probably a good half a dozen, if not more, locations that have a similar recipe to Aurora's.
If anybody knows pizza in Sault Ste. Marie, Aurora's is definitely on top, and hopefully I'm a close second behind.
Why did they come to Sault Ste. Marie?
Why did they come? Because some friend of my dad's wrote and said that there was a lot of work in the Sioux, and the steel plant was operating, and the paper mill, and so my dad and the family came over to the Sioux. I said, couldn't you pick anything else? But by then, my dad was kind of getting old and didn't feel like working, so he sent me. That was my first venture on the corner of James Street and Albert. And I was there for 1956, and then I bought a pizza oven and I moved to Bruce Street. And it was called Aurora's. And it's still called Aurora's. You had to work hard to get by. Like now, you can order boxes and dough machines, pasta machines, you name it, they got it going. But then there was nothing. And it was a lot of work, especially in the wintertime, you know, in the cold. A lot of hard work getting by in the pizza business. But it was lots of fun too.
When I was a kid, I remember eating at Peachy's Pizza on Bay Street. Another one would have been Dino's Pizza out in the West End.
Back in the day, there was the Clayto's Pizza down on Gore Street, Sandro's out in the East End.
Peachy's, there was Final Restaurant, you know, Mrs. B's.
You got your Auroras, just traditional names, Blue Boy back in the days.
Sorrento's was one of the biggest pizza places in town back in the day where my uncle and my dad worked for a period of time. And obviously Mrs. B's. I mean, you just hear anybody that lives in a town now, and these are the names that people bring up when they talk about what they remember about the Sioux.
We have a very big influence of Italian culture here in Sault Ste. Marie. If you go around, look at some of the names of the restaurants, they are Italian, authentic Italian.
It's always been a pizza town. Of course, it was all home-styled pizzas, all from home recipes. That's what we're really famous for. We had quite a few places that were from home recipes.
Fresh. It's all hand-cut vegetables. It's the cheese is it's grated. The sauce is it's homemade. It's a homemade pizza.
You know, you go to bigger cities, you just travel 3-4 hours east of here, and you see a lot more franchises, whereas in the Sioux, homemade definitely is the word that comes to mind.
The Italian food that we have here is great. It's backed by a lot of tradition and history from all of our older ancestors, and we have great pizza. And obviously, all of our former people that lived in the Sioux that moved away, they're always wanting our pizza when they come back home, or wanting us to send pizzas or open up a shop in Barrie or wherever. And it's because we continued on those traditions and stuck by the proper way of how we all learned how to make pizza.
I think just if you go back to our heritage and see how the Sioux was originally built up and the population that decided to settle here, a lot of these people were definitely into cooking and opening up restaurants at the time where their families took over, and it evolved from there.
Probably the same thing that makes people go back to any homemade mom and pop style of pizza that's been a staple in Sault Ste. Marie, because they love the product and they've passed it down to generations that they like what they want, and we have it.
I think a bigger city, everything's a lot more fast-paced, so everybody's trying to rush everything, and here we have obviously a smaller population, and we take our time, and you can't rush love, and you can't rush pizza.
Since I've been working for Aurora's over 36, 37 years, there has never been any soda pop in there. So I don't know where that came from. I've never seen any orange crush or any type of soda put into a dough recipe. It is a special recipe. It's a basic recipe of a dough, but you know what? If you don't do it with a little bit of care, it's not going to be a good dough. Dough is made and it's there on the table waiting to be cut and panned and put into the oven.
This usually starts probably a couple hours ago. It's got to rest before we can actually use it, so it can age a little bit. 9 o'clock is our earliest. Thursdays I usually start at 6:30 in the morning. On some mornings we'll go through that whole dough before we even open. It doesn't really take that long to mix it. It's more the aging process that we're looking at. So as soon as we get even halfway through this one, I'll have another dough started.
You can't rush the dough. So we don't add any sugars or anything like that because that speeds up all that process. So we make our dough proof for 24 hours. I'm making pizza dough today, it's for tomorrow. As that dough sits and ferments from the yeast, it breaks down all the gluten strands and everything like that, and it gives you a more airy, crisp pizza. You hear as the cutter rolls, you can hear that crunch. That's what you want.
The sauce. Sauce makes the pizza. If you have a good sauce on pizza, you can mask some of the ingredients, maybe, if I should say. Stanislaus tomatoes out of California is where we get all of our tomatoes for our pizza sauce, our pasta sauce, and everything there.
We don't like to overpower our sauces with any one particular spice. We like to have it a nice, smooth, mellow blend.
Experimented with sauces, a lot of different types of spices in our sauce. Some places don't put anything in their sauce, but we like to add that flavor to it. My brother experimented with different things at the time. Kind of used all of us in the family as guinea pigs and said, try this, try this, try this. It's a good thing I like pizza.
The sauce that we use tomatoes without cooking. It's a very fresh tomato sauce.
Tomato sauce that we use for our pizza sauce, it's a San Marzano tomato. Very, very hard to get nowadays, very expensive, but it's very sweet, low in acidity, and it brings out the best flavors in the pizza.
Each pot is identical. Our sauce never changes. I never get tired of that sauce. Some sauces might be tardy, this is a very smooth sauce. You can taste all the spices in it, it's not overpowering.
It's sort of like a mini assembly line. Everybody is in position on a busy night, and they're responsible for their area. For instance, I'm stretching the pizzas. That's where I have to keep the quality control on the crust. Then it moves along to somebody that's putting the cheese on it.
Our little motto is everything right to the corner. It's a brick cheese. and it's from Saputo. And it's been the supplier that I've known for 35 years. If you start changing the cheese, you're changing the pizza.
This was something that my grandmother she always did. She always made pizza in the oven at home. No written recipe. This is all by memory and feel and taste. That's what the recipe is. Ingredients do change over time. You know, what you're using back in southern Italy to what you're using in Sault Ste. Marie is obviously a little bit different. If anybody's ever looking for a written recipe, it doesn't exist.
Perfect amount of topping depends on the thickness of the dough. Perfect amount of sauce, perfect amount of cheese, and topping to kind of compensate for the dough thickness.
Everything we do with pizza here, we try to do the best. We don't skimp out at all, and I believe if you bring the best ingredients and the best knowledge and the best practice to your pizza or any food that you're creating, you're gonna have a lot of followers.
We chop everything fresh, onions, green peppers, high quality bacon. The pizza speaks for itself. I mean, the customers keep coming back when you use fresh products like that.
It's easy to sell a cheap pizza, cheaper if you use a cheaper quality product. We try to stay with the better quality products, and that's what's flexing our pizza.
I don't know if people know, but we use fresh mushrooms. We have fresh sausage. All our ingredients are cut fresh every day. Fresh is the best. You can tell when you go to other establishments if the food is fresh or not. It's a joy.
She had her favorite butcher that brought her the ground sausage. Everything that went on those pizzas was fresh.
Seen guys doing 30 seconds, have it rolled out, sauce, cheese, within a minute and a half, it's in the oven.
We use the fresh rollout with the big rolling pin and a brick oven pizza. The brick oven makes a big difference. People like the brick oven because it gives a nice crisp on the crust on the bottom, and that's a mainstay for what I think makes a good pizza.
So how do you know what?
Like a Friday night, we'll sell probably 130 large pizzas.
What's a Pizza Hut now? Of course, our Monday, Tuesdays is the slowest of the week. So if we do maybe, 30 pizzas on those days, but then of course on the weekends, you're getting up to 100 and that kind of thing.
You can sit here around supper time anytime, especially Friday, like any business. That phone does not stop, and the delivery drivers are in and out, in and out.
A slow day is probably around the 50 mark. A busy day, 100 plus.
We have a theater. We have a theater that attracts a lot of people, and if there's a good movie and a hockey game at the same time on a Friday night, that is our busiest time.
My mother wasn't short on ego. She enjoyed the praise. families were so loyal to her. She got the biggest charge out of the students from Collegiate and St. Mary's, the all-boys school, that would come, and they would come back with their sweetheart and tell her how they fell in love in Aurora's Pizzeria. She was well known, and she enjoyed the notoriety.
My grandmother she could still run circles around some of our staff in the kitchen, and she's 86 years old. And you know, if she didn't have her knees replaced, she'd still be in the kitchen working. She loved it. She loved working with food. She loved being around friends and family, and it was more of a social outing for her than anything else. But very smart, very dedicated.
I've seen a lot of kids go through here, hockey teams, all kinds of anniversaries. And it's nice to come out here and see the people because we know everybody that comes in here.
Probably see the same names I've seen from 27 years ago who may have raised a family, fed their kids over the years, and now their kids are having kids and they're still kind of buying the pizza. My day comes that I move on, that's probably what I'll miss the most, is just seeing the faces every day. It's really fun.
A lot of great staff members that have been through here. You see them venturing out on their own, moving cities, having their own families now as well, after starting here as kids.
When you're typically working in a family situation, we all have the same goals. And I think that's what keeps us all on target. Help one another when needed, and it also keeps a good watchful eye over the business as we can divide up the hours of the day and work either opposite and overlap sometimes. Family unit, I believe, is what's been instrumental in keeping this business a success for 40 years.
People that worked for my mother say it was the best years of their life. My mother was a hard taskmaster, but they all respected each other, and it was a sense of family. She was tough, but she was fair and very proud of the product that went out of her establishment.
Look at all the recipes in Sault Ste. Marie. They all came from a family-oriented place, a place of love, a place of care, and that's what a lot of Sault Ste. Marie is family and togetherness, all that kind of stuff, right? When you go out of town and you try to find that, you go to Toronto, there's some good pizza there, but it's not the same. It's not made with the love that it's made with at all these places here in the Sault. So you just try to make the best quality food that you possibly can at a good price and give good service, and people will keep coming through your doors.
Times that I've cried, I've been away a little too long. Did anyone miss me while I was gone? Take me back to Sault Ste. Marie. Take me back to my old hometown. Hanging around here is bringing me down. Take me back to Sault Ste. Marie. There's a lot of old friends I want to see. There ain't any place that I'd rather be. Take me back to Sault Ste. Marie. I said, take me back to Sault Ste. Marie.